Hi, friends. I'm joined by, of course, Stephanie, one of our head writers and voice of K4R3N, but also by Andrew, our scenic designer.
Hello.
I mean, I feel like Andrew wears a couple hats, but the big hat is space design.
Don't we? We all
wear a couple
do
hats.
here.
We all sing. I think we all.
We all sing.
Yeah.
I think we all sing.
Finally, some emojis, and we're getting we have like a bunch coming. But there's a really cute one of one of Stephu's cats, Lilith. If you're a subscriber, you have access to Lilith dancing. Can I get some Liliths in the chat?
Woo.
Hey. Okay. Anyway, so we have new emotes. Since we have Scenic Design here, and we've shown some of the assets, we haven't shown you all of them, and we're still not going to show you all of them. But we have a couple cool ones that I would love to show and talk about. We can talk about, the world of Adrift. We're gonna show you some pictures from Homeworld and some pictures from the ship itself. The ship, of course, that Andrew designed, and is still exploring and designing, because you are slowly through the show learning all of the different parts of this ship, and there's a lot to it. So let me start with Homeworld, which we all saw. If you're here for the theme song, you've seen Homeworld. Let me pull her up. Here is Homeworld. Let me center her a little bit.
Shout out to Mia. I'll always shout out Mia. She's great.
Who fully
Great render,
designed
great
this
artist.
based. We gave sketches and stuff, but Mia and we'll show you a little bit of what some of the rendering software looks like on Andrew's screen later today on the stream. But Mia rendered this. This is 3D software. This is crazy. And then she placed the camera angle that we're viewing it from in the space. And it's just super cool to see where the adventure starts, and the little bit of the house and lab that the explorers woke up on, which now we've explored a little bit. But we'll come back to this. We'll come back to the house. Let's go to the ship. So here are the blueprints for the ship. Let me move them over a little bit. These are all blueprints that Andrew. And I'll pull up what the end result was, which if you were here a year ago, then you actually would have seen that Andrew drew
It was not a
several
year ago,
sketches,
was it?
Which we spent time looking at, discussing, voting on, and we ended up, there were 4 that we really liked. I don't know how many there actually were at first. There were 16?
There was more than 10. More than 10 for sure.
Where's the ship? Bring me the ship. There we go.
But we landed on at least this one here, so.
Yeah, and we still have yet to name her. We do need to name her.
We have some working titles.
Yeah, true. This is not one that we've agreed on yet and are ready to share.
You're correct.
But I love this ship. I'm a big fan.
I love it
we
so
chose
much,
this ship.
yeah.
But the front sphere of this ship is sort of free floating and spinning and rotating, which is cool. Same with the smaller sphere, which is a source of energy for the ship. There's really a lot of cool, just details in the design, especially in the layout of the ship, which we'll kind of get to a little bit. I can't wait. We don't have it yet. Well, actually, I say that. Let me pull up what was just on screen, the blueprints. You can kind of see through this idea. Let's see, this top-down sketch. I'm going to make this really big so y'all can see. This is a top-down slice of the ship.
Right.
I'll make it even bigger. And you can see the way the different rooms work around with the stairs going up and down the ship. I'm going to move over here. On this one, you can see that there are different floors in the circle. So we're gonna look at a couple of rooms on this ship. I just thought, let me just zoom in here. I can't wait till we have actual floor plan of the entire ship. That's gonna be super cool to kind of break down and look at.
And now that we know a lot of the layout, well, because once with the live show and we have a lot of the assets now in play, the pieces are starting to come together. Where everything's at, and it's super interesting. We have navigation, we have essentially the top portion, as an asset, and so now we also have the bottom portion.
Yeah, but the library,
or at least
you're right though. It's very cool to know, especially now that we're just so far in the show and we've seen like we've completed scenes and scenes performed from the first episode through the 6th episode. We do have a lot.
Yeah.
It's cool to know, like, when Astra is running from the library to navigation, we kind of know her path a little bit, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, let's look at another room. I mean, let's start with navigation. I should have put the hallways up here, but I did not. This is like a side glance, I guess, at navigation. I'll make it real big.
Yeah, you're in this. Professionals in the industry, we call it an elevation, interior elevation.
Ooh. Cool.
Especially because it's 3-dimensional, though. But
True. There is like this running.
I love this.
Yeah, I think it's very cool. There's this running theme of the padded exterior or the padded walls. Some of the colors that you'll see repeated in a lot of the interior rooms. Also rug. We love a good little shag rug. A lot of the show takes place here in navigation. Let me pull up one of my favorites, the common space. I love the way the common space came out. I wish I could zoom in to show you like the Book of Anubis, but you'll just have to believe it's there.
Trust, it's there, center on the screen.
Let's see. Common space is where that's the game takes place. I think a couple scenes actually take place in there, but that's probably one of the big ones. One of the big the entire scene and song takes place there. I don't know any other songs that happen in the common room.
I love her direction of the lighting. Like I don't know if you were the one that told her about the lighting on the ceiling there, but that's a 10 out of 10.
No, it's that was full all Mia, and it's so interesting and very different.
Well, because it really speaks to the motif of the ship, because the idea obviously with the globe essentially, at many points you all have access to see outside into space, right? You always have that. Sometimes you don't, though, especially with this common room being centered in the space, still being able to see, like, quote unquote, the asteroids out there, or you can say the light is our stars or the asteroids floating around in space. It's a very cool motif to show that this is still like a spaceship and not just a room anywhere else in a building on Homeworld or Earth. But
yeah, that's fair. That's true. And
no, it's
cool. Especially keeping in mind that like we gave a lot of specifics, but a lot of like random parameters for Mia to work within. Like these kids are from this decade, but also we are inspired by this decade. Also, we need shaggy bowling carpet on the ground. I was like, or like roller skating rink carpet on the ground. But but also we want like beanbag chairs, and it needs to be kind of elevated. Oh, but also cubbies. We need cubbies because they're children. So but it's funny how Mia can capture all of those things in this scene, have it feel this kind, like I love this room because it also feels kind of sleek to me. Like I think navigation feels dated in an appropriate way. You know what I mean? Like it's this retro futuristic, like what people thought the future was, with some advanced tech, but also not some advanced tech. This room, I think, captures that a lot, but in like a very fun way. Like we have these obviously like sturdy lockers against all of these rounded designs, these fuzzy couches, the roller skating rink carpet, wooden cubbies, or what appear to be like wooden cubbies. We gotta talk about wood in space, but but this one was cool.
And then beanbags. Beanbags
the
too.
beanbag chairs. It was cute. It's cute. It's great. It's kind of hard to see, but actually I will show you. In the bottom left corner, you can see Gizmo's backpack with his little arm like sticking out of the backpack, which I just love.
Wait. Oh, okay, I gotcha. I was like, even I missed that. Where was that?
Yeah, I just love the little details. And while we're here, here's the Book of Anubis, which we're not going to talk about, but
sure,
just so that you know it's there. Let me pull up the twins' room, and this is a really long room, so I will go ahead and kind of make it bigger and pan across for us to see. This is the like Gizmo side. You know what I'm gonna do actually? we're gonna get rid of our videos for a second and the chat. We're gonna just pop it all away, just so that people can
Just
actually
full
see.
full bleed. Yeah.
Just so that people can actually see what this full scene looks like. So I think it's very cool. Here you go. Now you can actually see the entire
love
twins'
it.
bedroom.
Yeah.
Which is cool, and it's cool to see all at once. Like the left half is Gizmo's side, the right half is Pixel's side. Very similar, slightly different. Like Pixel's more organized. They have their little shared station in the middle. I also think it's slightly funny that if this shared station is like their divider, that their room is slightly set up so that Pixel gets more space. That's like
yeah,
a
like it's
subtle
not
thing,
a
but-
full. Yeah, it's not fully 50-50. You know, it's like 40-60 and like
yeah,
very
that's why,
known.
yeah, I think it's subtle, but like Gizmo's too afraid to say anything like about it. You know what I mean? Like Pixel would not budge.
I don't even think I don't even think that Gizmo even, like you said, even notices. Like it's just like, no, it's half, and then
Yeah,
Pixel's just like,
true,
yeah,
true.
it's also half. Like that
That's-
is just how they know half is. Like,
That's funny. Yeah, no, I definitely could see that. I love this room, and I love the moving lights. I will say, like, as an animated feature of this asset, I think Mia ate with the moving like lights
Yeah.
and the data and the
It's
power.
it's a good tidbit knowing, especially because it's a static room and we're using it for video backdrop and everything, right? But so something, how do you show looping video in a still image essentially, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's great.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
thought of that. She thought of that off the dome, off rip. She's like,
Off the
you know what?
dome.
This needs that. Like,
BugBus. We're gonna want to show the sketches a little bit.
yeah, because I mean, who was the inventor of BugBus here, right? So how did the BugBus
yeah,
come
true.
into?
Mr. Gizmo. Here, let me switch screens real quick. So I'm gonna switch spots with you on the screen. Pull up your
Sure thing.
screen. Oh, also while we're here, actually, let me just let me pull away Andrew's screen so that y'all can see the background. This is the Superstorm planet.
Yeah.
Which is just super fun. We haven't used this asset for anything yet, and I thought it would be fun to bring up here. This is just a place that the kids go to in one of the episodes, episode 6, in a song called Cosmic Stardust. And it's just one of my personal favorite songs, so I thought it was super cool to get to put this asset on here. There's going to be more in this asset that Andrew is actually designing, but we will talk about that later because which it's actually it's like a vehicle, I'll just tell you, that one of Gizmo's inventions, one of Gizmo's many inventions, which are things that Andrew's been designing. And we're going to look at one of those inventions. But let me pull up. There's Andrew's screen. This is Photoshop?
Yeah, this is just Photoshop running here. Well, we have the sketch of what we think was going to be the vehicle for it, right? So
right. Oh, this was your like original sketch idea for the bus.
Right, and like we said, we had multiple ideas for vehicles, right? And so, we had a lot of ideas, motifs to bring in. The original Lost in Space vehicles was a big homage to, I know, Steph and I, so we were loving that idea. I think the main idea that I wanted to bring into the world is having so that we can have an RV, essentially, like a bus. Because I was like, what's the difference between military and family transport, right? Because we didn't want to have a Humvee or something for this whimsical adventure.
The
right?
Humvee
it ain't.
It just reminds me of the car that you know what I'm talking about in the asset.
Yeah, the idea, we didn't want a Cadillac in there, which is, it's something other space content would do, right? They would have, it would be all about, actually like a Humvee, and then what weaponry we can have. It's not the Halo Humvee Warthog or anything like that. These are still kids, and so what would they go around? And what would be a great point for that? A bus. A bus that they can all, because as soon as one kid wants to go explore a world, all of them are going to want to explore the world.
Yeah, and I'll interject real quick. An important point to note here is that unlike the ship itself, which was designed by adults for these kids, this BugBus is designed by Gizmo, who is one of the youngest explorers. So the inspiration is coming from what appears to be like a 12-year-old child, you know, or like an 11-year-old, 10-year-old child.
And I mean, quite literally, and we also love bringing back reading, making sure that everyone reads. I was thinking, Hungry Caterpillar. It'd be great to have that as like a design for the bus, right? So the idea is that they would all go on their adventures, and that each portion of these buses, right, can be sectioned off and go off on their own little adventures. They can rebel. They can be like, I want to go over here. I want to go over here. And it's something still whimsical, innocent, and yet familial, right? It's about all of them going on an adventure together, and then they're the strongest, obviously, when they're all in one unit. But obviously, people like to go on their own little adventures here. So, I think it speaks to the overall motif of the ship itself, right? The overall design of it. So that's essentially the mini version of that, because as soon as they see the ship, I'm sure they're going to be like, dang, that's, like it's all connected, essentially.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously, Stephanie and I think we're pretty unanimously, aligned on the BugBus being the bus that we chose, like the vehicle we chose, especially because I think it aligns with Gizmo. And honestly, before we were talking about a couple weeks ago why Willow and Gizmo might be in the same section of the BugBus when it splits apart, which just leads to some parts of their adventure in Cosmic. And honestly, I'm thinking like I just now is like, I'm sure Gizmo wants to see bugs. Gizmo, who is kind of into bugs, has never seen a bug. There's ain't gonna be a bug with no oxygen on Homeworld, right? So I think
he's absolutely the bug guy.
Yeah,
sure.
Something to explore, honestly, is possibly like the environments that would have bugs is probably like Planet X, right? So I think that's something we might have to talk about a little bit. But I imagine that's something that probably aligns Willow and Gizmo, because I feel like out of everybody on the crew, the two of them randomly are like, I like bugs, like. Nobody else has any reason to fear bugs, like where no one has any interactions with creepy crawlies. But I imagine some people are not interested in hearing Willow talk about all the legs on a caterpillar. And I'm curious who that is. Probably Calypso, but I wonder who does not enjoy the BugBus for that reason, if any at all. But I love the BugBus. I love the idea that it splits apart. I'm very curious to our engineering feats of how it leaves and re-enters the ship. Our ship design doesn't seem to me like it has a necessary, like a landing state necessarily. Like a comfortable.
And I think that's
and
I think that's purposeful for sure.
But I think it's definitely designed to use the escape pods, which we know are on the ship. And along with these type of vehicles, I'm sure there's like a launch bay of some kind. I love the fact that we have, let me pull up. Oh, it's actually on the other slide, so that's okay. But the ship design has these like piping hallways that I wonder if there's a way for like, for us to launch something like this out of one of the ends of those pipes.
Oh, I mean, I think I absolutely agree that it's going to be something in that regards where it's, you're seeing right here, you're seeing 3 of portions, and that's probably the most common way that we will use it. But I could easily see this being, it could be, as many as 5, 6, or however, as a series. And so it's more about, it could even be that these are the escape pods, but they are able to conjoin together, right?
Yeah, not a bad idea. I like, because honestly, something that Stephanie has brought up before is like, how long does it take for Gizmo to build some of these things, or like when in the timeline has Gizmo built some of these things? I wonder if it's a just very interesting thought that we'd have to discuss the implications of.
Yeah, we can get into the character of it, because what could be fun is maybe it's the idea of Gizmo retrofitting something that exists. Like the escape pods are just these circle escape pods, but Gizmo's like, no, actually, it would be better if all the circle pods were to be able to come together to make a bus. And so now he's retrofit. It could be something that he
Yeah.
retrofits
That-
from
I'm-
the original escape pods.
that's
there.
the thing. I think it comes with some implications, but I'm curious what that could
Yeah.
mean for the story, Stephanie. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Especially if it's something that Gizmo is working on through the show, since we wouldn't even, they would not get to the point of using it until day 3 or 4, right? The Fire
Right.
Planet is probably day 3, or day 4. It's fairly early-ish. But I wonder if, in that case, they only had, only 2 or 3 segments ready, and then later on in the show, Gizmo, we see the BugBus return, and it's like upgraded state with more, more segments could be cool. But it definitely, the implication of, for multiple reasons, the implication of using the escape pods, we have to be specific about when and how that appears. But I'm really curious about it, because it does make sense. I think Gizmo is an inventor, but Gizmo to me seems also like a really thrifty inventor. Like, it's like, ooh, I want to turn this and try to turn this into this. Like, Gizmo would be walking down the hall and pull like a piece of metal off of the wall because he was like, ooh, that's gonna turn into a super cool thing. Like, that's the
Right.
like the vibe I kind of get, especially because I imagine like some aspects of this ship are like really, obviously some of it are really, like the library is super cool, but I feel like some parts of the ship have to be weirdly outdated or even possibly unfinished. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. Or like not decrepit, but certainly showing signs of aging for sure.
Yeah,
Because
even on top,
it would
true.
dormant.
Because
Yeah.
there definitely should be signs of age, and we know there are signs of age in some of the technology. But I would
Right,
love for them
exactly.
at some point, or like even if it's like maybe one of the side ventures or something, to see them like go to a corner of the ship that is like roped off because it was never fully built, and I wonder if that turns into like,
Yeah.
oh, let's finish it.
Or or it's more of just like a blank space, not like just like a void, but it is just an empty room that was just like it had it's almost like someone just packed up and left all the things there, right? It has all the equipment, but it just was never set up, and so it could have been originally designed for something, but the explorers were like, no, we're actually going to do this, and it was completely opposite to what its original intent was.
Yeah,
That could be fun
That's
to have
interesting. Yeah, I like
somebody
that.
stumble upon them.
I live.
But so with the BugBus, always progressing the stuff in the background, like we were saying. So I was taking this design, to show the audience what it looks like. We've seen the finished product of our modeling with Mia going into as the renderer. This is what it would seem to pull the curtain back. So if we wanted to make something as quality like Mia's renders there with the BugBus, we had to start with a 3D model.
Yes. I love a good circle. Honestly, it looks cool already. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so this is you got to start with the building blocks, and the way that I learned 3D modeling, it's all about in the connections, right? So you have to figure out how things are going to come together. So we as we're talking about the story, as we're talking about characters, I'm just going to be working on the BugBus in the background.
Okay, wait. So before we move to characters, because I am ready to move to characters, but there's one comment that I want to make. I think moving into the future of this design that I think would, specifically on the connecting bit, that I think has been really interesting for me about your ship design that has in turn become a part of the story. Like, we have not retconned, but we have written in that the rooms of the larger sphere of the front of the ship are technically housed within the sphere that we see. So it's like a sphere within a sphere,
Right.
So that the way the ship can rotate based on, like, the rest of the ship could freely rotate around the sphere without the sphere being impacted. Right. So, like, for a number of gravitational reasons. Similarly, I think so there are two thoughts. The first thought is I would love to see these circular segments, kind of similarly, possibly be housed within a larger circle. And I don't know why my brain is picturing the front of Fusion Frenzy. You know, like the circle. And this is like those hamster ball games where people are running in the circle. But I would like,
right.
For these spheres to maybe like each of those like spheres to be housed within another sphere, so that it can freely like turn to the right. You know what I mean? Like suddenly, and while the ship or the bus might be moving around, the internal spheres have that kind of like, you know what I mean, like the hydraulics, like to give it
very gyroscope.
No, exactly. And then so that's like my first thought, and then my second thought is I'm personally obsessed with the little the tractor like wheels, these like,
oh, absolutely,
especially the different the multiple tractor like on each circle. I think just gives a lot of range, especially on top of that, the fact that the spheres can freely circle. Like I'm imagining this thing going into the crystal cavern, and some of the spheres turning completely upside down, so that the tractor circles are like on all sides, like, which I think is just so cool. I think really fun. I think
because then at that point you can have traction on each surface, and it turns more into like a spider versus a caterpillar sort of thing. How it's just,
and I think part of that is again, like, Gizmo's not seen these bugs like in person. These bugs are basically like mythological creatures to us, the same way like dragons and you know. So like I would love for this to just be a little fantastical in that way. Like Gizmo made it, you know what I mean? So this has got to be a cool, and I think it's already leaning the cool. Like it's very techie inspired. You know, I mean, like a nerd made, like IRL nerd made this, but also Gizmo the character made this. You know what I mean?
So I absolutely agree, and so that's why I was like, you know, we have the blue essentially is going to sit inset. You know, if you could imagine the gray being metal portion, the blue would be like essentially
glass.
A glass that is free floating on the inside. So just like the ship, it just has a frame. And then the glass is able to shift around and move. And so this floor, the actual part where you stand, is fixed to the blue. So it can tilt, it can move, it can go side to side while the bus is doing all the things it needs to do to actually get you somewhere. That can do whatever it wants freely. And each has its own control, so that, you know, somebody can turn this way to see bugs, and while the other person is driving forward, you know?
We're going to need to get a theoretical physicist on the payroll.
But that's the best part about sci-fi. We can just sort of, you know what? We can yap all day long and see how it fits up. But we can call Neil deGrasse Tyson and see if that will work.
That's my dream.
Okay, well, while Andrew works in the background, for those who are just joining us a little late, Andrew, our scenic designer and space architect, is working on the BugBus in the background, like working on a 3D model of one of the vehicles that he sketched, which is one of the characters' inventions in universe. And so while Andrew like works on the 3D modeling of this vehicle, which we love, the BugBus, Stephanie and I are going to talk about literally actually the character who designed that vehicle a little bit, and we have some questions that we've been answering for all the characters, just to solidify some of their traits, some of their like interests, assignments, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to pull that up real quick, that document, and get ready to do some chit chat.
A little chit chat.
Who were we on before? I don't know if we finished that person.
I believe. Oh, hold on. I accidentally moved one. We still need to do. Well, we weren't going in any particular order. We were kind of jumping around. We did Atlas. We did Astra. I'm pretty sure Astra is like complete now, except for the stuff that will include off stream. So we still have Willow, Orion, and then Bolt, Gizmo, Pixel, Cloud, and Karen.
Okay. So let's take Gizmo. I think this will be fun because we do have some things that we need to still decide. Because we changed since again we changed the way that the character assignments work and their two specific traits. now we need to give a new one to Gizmo, to the twins in general. Momo. Oh, hey Katie. Hey friend, we are
Hello.
just chilling. Andrew is designing some BugBus stuff, and
Yes, I
am. We are chit-chatting now about Gizmo while that happens. And Katie, you can see we have a new GIF for Lilith. We need to make a GIF for Momo still. But we're getting the GIFs are happening, or the emotes, the animated emotes are happening. It's cute.
So excited.
Sorry, some dramatic news coming through my house.
Oh.
Keep me updated. Okay. So, ooh. I have to be right back. Give me 20 seconds.
You're okay.
I will mute my mic. Y'all take over.
No, honestly, I'm so fascinated with this process. I could just watch this. I always tell Harrison, I'm like, if you wanted to do streams with you just like arranging and doing music and stuff, people would just want to sit and watch that because I find this so interesting.
Absolutely. Or like it could be, we can have the absolute combo of the cafe music while he's working on the music and I'm working on this. It's just, I mean, you know, it's essentially the idea, right? We're just playing with Play-Doh here. And we're trying to make all of this stuff work. So this is, for those that are wondering, this is essentially what I do for my day job as well. I'm a architect, and so we just play around with this stuff as well. And this is how we design buildings. This is how we design anything. All, you know, as you saw with Mia, this is just the background stuff, and then Mia with the artist, we work together to render everything out. Mia's amazing because she does it all. She models it and renders it.
Yeah, which is, I'm just so I love watching people do things that they're really good at that I cannot do. And I never feel bad because I can't do it, because I'm like, that's why there's someone else to do it. It's like when I go see like a ballet, you know?
Exactly. Like, I don't know. I was like, I can't do that triple backflip or whatever. But
I
for those
love
that
watching somebody else do it.
For those that are wondering, I'm working on right now is making another layout. So we have like the BugBus's cutouts. I want to make it so that way we have a chassis, essentially like the just like a vehicle, just like a car, has a chassis to house a frame to house the gyroscope for the smaller version. So that's what I'm working on now, to make it less like an egg and more like it's a frame trying to hold something in so that it can be free floating.
Oh, can you go back to the picture real quick? Cool. I just realized also, like, I want people to understand like how big this bus is. Like, you can see how small the people are inside of it. Like,
these are the people in here.
Like,
yeah.
From the other picture, sometimes it looks like each one houses like one person sitting. I'm like, they're quite large.
No, this is quite literally like a third of an actual bus, right? That's so you can imagine sitting two people. Like, if this is a row, you can fit like 4 people in there, like 2 on each side, essentially. So these are big buses, but you know, we have a lot of explorers, and we can obviously get to, you know, how many explorers for this mission for, you know, crew 100. So
yeah, cool. I'm gonna, right before we get into character stuff, I think I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so that people can see your work just a little bit better. Yeah,
because it's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I guess you do zoom in pretty close. I'm trying to think if they need to see like all of the like file, edit, save, that kind of stuff. Okay, let me get rid of that. Don't mind me, all. Okay. Boom. And I'll bring that right back down. Okay. I have my thing up, so I am down. Let's see what we've got for Gizmo, the inventor, which still seems like a fair assignment. I'm down to revisit this a little bit in relation to what we want Bolt's like assignment to be, but I think some of that is really just like less about like what does this mean for this character, and more like what do we actually want this assignment to be, like what you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I sat with it. I was like, I feel like I don't mind inventor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it feels like, you know, a job, especially something you would want somebody doing on a new planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I imagine
But
like there is some strategy in combining Gizmo the inventor with Willow the researcher.
Oh, absolutely. And I put I know you. I don't know if you put down some suggestions on yours, but I put down some suggestions for his. I don't know what to call them.
Ooh, architect
Attributes?
Yeah, attributes is a good way. I also had
Architect,
welder.
designer, carpenter, and welder.
I literally
come
wrote
on.
down welder.
Because I'm like, I feel like he would really be into that.
Yeah, it's just because like I think there is something to say about like the almost, and actually not even almost, like genuinely there is an art form behind welding, like metalwork. And I think it's safe to say like even we could even almost go so far as like pyro, like
Girl.
Gizmo being so into welding and like that and something else like chaotic is what turns him into like they're like, you know what I mean, like him being assigned the welder or being assigned the inventor is a result of his crazy attributes, which just so happen to be I think welding and something else. I'm into welding, like metal work.
Yeah, I'm also into
Fire.
the weld thing.
Architect is good, but I don't know that he's actually interested in architecture.
Architect seems bougier than Gizmo is.
Yeah, yeah.
It's classist. It's classist.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
classy.
I feel like if anybody was classist, it's Crew 99 or the people who made Crew 99.
True.
And
True.
I
That's
think
fair.
an architect would probably exist on that crew.
I'd agree. So maybe like I don't know, but yeah, like welding.
But I think welding is a cool technical skill. I think Gizmo is also blessed with like both with insanity, but also like blessed. With like like endless creativity, like a jitter. Like it may be welding and ADHD. Like those are his two.
That's crazy.
You don't study ADHD.
No, but
That's crazy.
Gizmo is just so.
That has a PhD in ADHD is absolutely diabolical. That's why I was like, is design too generic? But I feel like that's kind of what an inventor does. Like they design,
product,
and
design.
then the welding is more practical aspect of it.
Yeah. Welding. Hodgepodge.
Hodgepodge.
Trying to think. Okay, well we can revisit. I think whatever is
we'll circle
opposite
back,
of welding.
But I do like welder.
Yeah, I like welder. I think the opposite of that needs to be something on the creative side that branches that to inventor.
Agreed.
But I do like that. Explore numbers.
All right, what about Gizmo's strengths?
Strengths. I feel like I don't know if this is optimism, but I imagine Gizmo. There is very little that, or like Gizmo's anything that Gizmo doesn't understand. He's like, okay, I just need to go and understand it, or like I need to go and I can just build something for that. I feel like Gizmo does not know how to give up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a strength. Ooh.
Because I feel like I hate to use nonchalant because I don't think he's nonchalant. He has like this ability to be emotionless, and I mean that not in a bad way. I mean it in a productive way. Like he's apathetic to a degree, but like not. Like no matter the seriousness of the situation, like I don't know, he's able to just like get into it.
Yeah. It's kind of similar, but also in a different way to, I think, Atlas's apathy. But I think he reacts to it differently than Atlas does. You're right.
He has like a youthful apathy. It's almost like how kids feel like they have plot armor. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're untouchable because they're young and had never experienced death.
Plot armor. IRL plot armor is crazy.
I feel like kids feel that way. That's why we do dumb stuff and like jump off of roofs and like all the. I'm thinking of all the things that I did as a child, and maybe
Right,
that wasn't everybody.
I got plot
Now that
armor.
I'm voicing it out.
That's funny.
Look, when my sister told me that I could be like Mary Poppins, I climbed up to the roof with an umbrella and I jumped,
And I did it.
and I survived. And that's the plot armor.
Yeah, and that's the plot armor. We love plot armor. What was the question?
His strengths. I would say he's a quick thinker.
Yeah, but I think also a little naive, which is a weakness. Like I to like balance that strength, because he, unlike Atlas, I think he is like, yeah, whatever, but I don't know that his gut instinct is always like the best decision.
That's
you
fair.
know.
Mm-hmm.
I would say like almost less thought out. Like I feel like Gizmo is a gut person.
Yeah.
Like Pixel is not.
Like, I feel like Gizmo would spit like 100 solutions to your problem,
Yeah.
regardless of how effective they may or may not be. He'd be like, you could do this.
Yeah.
Okay, you could do
yeah,
this.
which is
Okay,
why
you
I
could
think
do this.
him and Orion get along. But that's what like separates him from Pixel. Pixel will be like, I'm going to write a very specific
Yeah.
list of possible instructions.
Yeah, Pixel's like, I want to run the numbers on it before we do a practical application. And Orion's like, oh, I'm down. Like, let's go.
Yeah, and Gizmo and Orion looking at each other is just that's bad. Like they're just gonna egg each other on.
Yeah, they should never be together alone.
We do need a. Orion, Gizmo, and Calypso are in charge. What happened to everybody else? That would be interesting. Something where, the younger kids are in charge for whatever reason. Like the older kids get incapacitated or locked out or something. Okay, let's keep thinking. Flaws, strengths, and fears, and flaws. This isn't always completely thought out, yeah.
Oh, and just like, yeah, a master maker.
Master builder. He's a master Lego builder. Ooh, welder, tinkerer.
Tinkerer?
Tinkerer, is that a? Can we get a
Let's
Google?
Tinkerer. Oh, it's a comic book character, first and foremost.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
So
the
I'm gonna
Tinkerer.
assume-
Yeah.
Now you're telling me. A tinkerer is a person who enjoys fixing, modifying, or experimenting with machines and mechanical devices.
Ooh, well, there it is.
I like that. This what is this? Just like AI Google. It was like kind of like Phineas and Ferb. Like, oh,
Kind of like. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
That's
sure.
kind of perfect, though.
Yeah.
a genius in
Thoughts on that?
engineering. I like that. I really like that, and I feel like that kind of makes sense with kind of like the eccentricness of Gizmo.
Yeah. I put it in there.
Right. Like, let's marinate on that. But I like that.
Here, I'll highlight it
think I
so we
like
know
it.
we're still marinating.
Okay, so Gizmo. Flaws and fears.
Let's see. Yeah, what's a fear for Gizmo?
Fear. He's so young, so talented.
That's tough
Yeah, that is a hard one. So young, so
because I
talented.
feel like he doesn't fear a lot of things. Like loves a challenge, loves the heightened elements of disasters in space. Like
I feel like, and this is maybe something to explore. We have to like really think through, but I wonder. Fears relating to his twin. Like, unlike everybody else, he has an actual biological family member on board.
that's fair.
You know what I mean?
As
Granted, they all
Yeah.
don't know anything else, but like, I think there's something there. I feel like some insecurities, but also some like the things that he cares about are definitely have to do with Pixel, right?
Which leads me to a note that I want to write for myself.
Writer's note. Okay, so Gizmo. Fears. So I think about his inventions. I don't think he cares if his stuff doesn't work. 'Cause he's just gonna try it again. Like that's the beauty
He doesn't
of
fear
inventions,
failure,
right? Yeah, no, I agree. I
Yeah,
think he has a good
that's the
way
power of youth.
Yeah, yeah.
As you get older, you fear time because you're like, I'm running out of time. But with youth, you feel like
Or
you're
judgment.
Yeah, and they're
Judgment.
so young.
But I would say, yeah.
But also very intelligent. And being
Yeah.
that young, I'm trying to think also what were their goals on a homeworld. Through building stuff, I imagine... I do imagine that to some extent, because of Pixel, Gizmo is definitely, while a little oblivious to danger, he's definitely aware of some, Pixel to me feels very, mortal. Very,
Yeah.
sitting in her room calculating and being like, hey, Gizmo, just so you know, we have, roughly 6.5 years left of food before we die. Before we, fully run out. Or something like that. And I'm just imagining, that kind of energy. I wonder if Gizmo has any deep down of, I'm making inventions to, ultimately to kind of help these things that Pixel is finding out and calculating. I know we haven't, ironed it all out yet, but I think we should soon probably iron out, what were the difficulties of existing on Homeworld? Because we know, for example, the kids wanted to adventure, and some of that comes with the territory of when you don't know anything, and you're only, they all know this one house and this one planet, and they're there for 2 years with a bunch of books, stories, pictures, things of other stories. I think they definitely longed for adventure and they longed for change, but I don't think all of them did. And you know what I mean? And I wonder how that impacted the twins' fears. I feel like those are some of the more complicated of our cast. Being so smart and also so young is very.
Yeah, the young ones are tough.
interesting intersection. I'm just thinking of my nephews and some of my young students. I'm like, what do they care about? It's so funny. And it's okay. I'll save this for off stream actually.
Write that down.
Yeah, no, because it could just inform a character. Let me write this down. Okay, let's keep going. Favorite invention, easy. Besides the BugBus, which is something that happens throughout the show, I really think he loves those monkeys. And the backpack.
Oh, the favorite invention.
Yeah.
I was like, he's gotta have a favorite.
Right? I feel like those monkeys are top tier.
I was also thinking Atlas's leg.
Yeah, the leg is a good one. Willow's glasses.
Because I feel like he would have had to do it really fast on the fly. He would have had to have quickly found material. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's something he continues to upgrade over time. So I feel like it feels like at the end of the day, he always comes back to that.
Am I imagining this kind of Sob-esque episode 7 flashback or something that is it's all underscore, right? So you're talking about 3 minutes of string quartet playing string quartet. It's black and white, and it's just the moment Bolt sees Atlas waking up, and it's Willow waking up, and it's Willow looking around the room, seeing the other pods waking up Pixel, who wakes up, it's everybody played a role or something. I'm just imagining this scene where everybody helped, and we see the history of how the leg thing happened in this 3-minute up sequence.
I can't do this with you. I quit.
I'm how sad can we make that?
Absolutely not. I'm out. I no longer want to be attached to the project.
Stephanie has left the chat. I want an up moment, but I think our up moment is Earth, to be fair.
I agree.
But I think that could be cute. You know, I'm dying for a flashback. I've been itching.
Oh, I know it.
Been itching for a flashback. I mean, we do have a big flashback, to be fair, as I say that.
Zoom. Yeah, we sure do, brother.
Yeah, right? I was like, wait. That is flashback territory.
So maybe cook on that, but I do think that Atlas's leg would be up there.
Brian, okay. So anyway, so the inventions. So let's go down the list real quick. We have Atlas's leg. We have Willow's glasses. Willow's like super high-tech glasses. We also have Orion's boots. And we have Calypso's instrument.
The autonomous monkeys.
The autonomous monkeys. Who are we missing? We don't have an invention for Cloud yet. And we don't have an invention for Astra.
Or Bolt.
I imagine Bolt
So I feel like not everyone needs one, right?
That's fair. Yeah, I guess. It could also even be things that happen throughout the show. Like, I imagine Bolt has some type of, like, Omni Cutter. Some, like, just really interesting, like, honestly, which I think could be, like, I imagine that Gizmo is going to learn and be inspired by the hard light technology that the human scientists were not able to complete. You know what I'm talking about? I feel like Willow and Gizmo learning how to use that, and then Gizmo turning that into some new inventions would slap. That would be cool.
See, now you've got me sitting here thinking, and I'm like, dang, what if...
Write that down.
I don't know if I could say that out loud.
Text it to me.
I'm going to write it down on my notes.
Say it slowly.
No!
That's what I wanted. Yeah, there you go.
Are you writing it down? I'm looking. Me looking for
Yes.
you. Is it that?
Yeah.
Ooh, what for? That would make sense, though.
Brace for impact, explorers. We're reaching a cloud.
We have to make it come in handy somewhere, though.
Wait, are you looking at what I'm looking at?
Maybe not. Are you looking at this?
No, I'm on my notes.
Oh. Gizmo's only show is Mythbusters.
For now.
Great show, though.
I
Great
feel like
show.
that also speaks to Gizmo's humor.
We've arrived.
Here we go. Look at what I wrote in my notes.
Oh, in your notes tab? Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you at? At the bottom? Oh, I see.
Yeah, scroll down.
Ooh.
Oh.
2,000 feet.
That is so.
Because I just imagine, like, one thing going wrong after the next.
Oh, wait,
And, like,
who helped
her
us?
trying to be helpful, but then being like, I can't see. Why can't I see?
Yeah, this is like, so you're telling me that you were about to walk out because I wanted to make a feel-good 3-minute intro of the kids
make it
working
depressing.
together to save Atlas, and you want to make somebody blind as a result. You're telling me you want to make it more
Look,
dramatic.
if we're gonna go there, I want to go all the way there. I want it to be the most graphic, like.
I think we just
Saws
need to figure out the
buzzing.
balance of it. I like it. It is giving me a little bit of the energy of like, okay, now we're just like we're chucking down.
Now we're just
a,
trauma
like,
dumping.
I was like, we're trauma dumping a like
Yep, that's what I
diversity,
want.
equity, inclusion checklist. It's like what it feels like a little bit.
I'm not saying she has to be blind.
Yeah, but it's.
I'm just saying like. Oh, hold on. You're watching it, right?
Oh no, I'm coming. Yes. I wonder, are you saying that because you like the plot? I like the plot point it introduces. I don't know about the blame that it places. Could it be a result just of
Oh,
the
if it's, like, a
extended?
blame thing.
What if it
Oh,
was,
maybe.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just a result of, and so like we learned that in that moment, which maybe leads to also the inclusion of like say Gizmo in that moment.
Because then what if we link that with the other thing I wanted for the crew member on the other crew?
Can you say that again, but in Spanish?
Yes.
Are you typing it?
It doesn't.
Yes.
Silent.
Oh.
I don't speak Spanish. You know what I mean? So what if it's not something that just affected them, but that affected others as well? Just something they didn't account for when they were making cryo.
Like this is also a result of the cryo. Wait, this?
Yeah.
But then the ship wouldn't be set up for that unless they made it. The kids themselves.
That's
did
fair.
That would be interesting.
That's a great
though.
point. That's a great point.
I do like the idea that they were seeded into that group for that. But I also really like the idea that I think there's like some small commentary on the fact that like maybe the ship didn't, like the adults didn't plan for that, but the kids did. The kids were like, oh, obviously that sucks. Let's just change it. Let's just change the ship. Like, 'cause I feel like kids would be like, why wouldn't we? You know what I mean? Adults are like, well, why do I have to change for the better of others? And the kids are like, well, why I want us all to have a good time.
Yeah, I kind of love that. But we can talk about that. We have plenty of time.
Growth.
Right.
Generational growth for sure.
Generational growth rather than trauma. What a concept.
Whoa.
Yeah, after your last pitch of trauma dumping on these children.
First of all, it makes for real good television, so you're welcome. Luna and Tombo chasing after each other. Skidding to a hole.
Stephanie, I don't remember, but did I tell you that I watched part of the documentary?
For?
Stranger Things.
Oh. We should not get into that now, because you know how I feel about that.
We should not talk about that.
It's literally been days since I talked about Stranger Things. No, that's not true. I talked about it yesterday. But that was because of fan fiction, not because of because of anything canonical.
Got it. I got into that because I got into a YouTube video that was just talking more about it and explaining. I was like, oh, I do think that Netflix even was like, okay, what the hell, and use that last moment to be like, okay, let's really know what happened. Like that was their chance to be like, this is really what happened. Yeah. Which is honestly so crazy for the Duffer
Netflix
Brothers.
washing their hands of the Duffer Brothers.
Literally.
They were like, here you go. This is what really happened. Please don't blame Netflix, because that's exactly what was happening. Is people that were doing the, I don't know if you were following it that closely, but they were doing the like release the edits, like hashtag release the tapes. Almost
Damn, I missed all
Netflix
of this for the straight. I missed all of that.
Brother, I'll send you the PowerPoints. We can go over it anytime you want. But the fan base was saying, had like hooked on to the fact apparently Netflix had cut over like 2 hours worth of additional footage that had already been filmed out of the episodes because they said they were too long. So people were blaming Netflix, saying that that's what happened. And so then the documentary came out, and it felt like Netflix being like, no, here's what really happened.
Yeah, unfortunately, I really think it's a case of they didn't care.
Yeah.
Like, I think they were 100%
really makes me really sad to watch it.
over it. Yeah, no, it's sad, especially because, like, I mean, really I don't want to, like, I don't want to bash another creator because it felt, this obviously was very personal to them, but also,
yeah,
how, like, I don't understand the not finishing the work, they did not finish the work until Showtime. You know what I mean?
I'll never understand that.
I was like, you had the time, this was your work, why didn't you finish it? You know what I mean? Like, it feels like you just
production on a season without having the last 2 episodes written boggles me when you're playing with $500,000.
Yeah, but also like
when you have $500,000 sunk into your project.
A narrative sci-fi show. Not to say that other shows don't need that kind of like planning, but like we're talking about sci-fi, which I think is like science fiction in itself is just, it's all like questions, answers, right? Like that's what it's about. Sci-fi is about questions that do not have answers. We answer them. That is the science fiction part of the genre. I don't know. I'm particularly disappointed about not giving any creative effort into your ending. This was like, I think as a creator, this was very clearly the please all solution that I think as a creator, most of us try to avoid in every situation. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to just pick the most watered down ending. I don't know. I was
And I feel like it's
particularly
relatable to our situation because when you hit the nail on the head when you said when you're sci-fi world building, because it's a double-edged sword. It's your world building, so you get to decide and you get to make the rules and parameters and you get to shape everything and decide on the lore. But then the other side of that is you have to then follow the rules that you create for yourself.
Right.
And when you don't, you need to be able to explain why or explain
which
how that is
we admit
allowed.
is hard, which is why this is taking so
It's
long.
really
and it's why we have
hard.
a lot of people. But I'll tell you right now, if someone was going to give me $500,000 and we had a deadline,
Be the continuity expert you've never even
I was
seen,
gonna say
brother.
you would see in the background strings to corkboards to strings to thumbtacks to strings like you've never seen. Like I'm Winona Ryder season
It'd be
1.
the Charlie Day photo. There'd be
I would-
red
yeah.
wires everywhere. Like
Yeah,
you
me
would not believe.
holding Christmas lights, going, I get it. Like I promise,
I'd be
I would
combing
have
through
something.
every
for you.
single shot. Every single shot we took, I'd be combing it. Like
Yeah.
Then
looking
we,
for any-
at that point, we would hire Neil deGrasse Tyson
Right.
to talk about
I
all
would.
the.
yes,
Talk
we
about
would.
all
It
that
just
shit.
it baffles me. But honestly, like
I know.
really fun. It's like it is the point of sci-fi. I really genuinely think is like what sets it out is the focus on the questions that not, and this is also very like, I mean, I guess all genres are like related to the human experience, but like science fiction is like really related to the human experience, like earthly human experience, right? Like what humans
absolutely.
think of space and what questions we don't have answers for. Is really I think where a lot of that comes from, and so that's why I think it's really important for us to take, especially right now, we're in like this pivotal point in our show where a lot of it is written. We've answered a lot of. I'm very proud to say I think we've answered a lot of the questions we set out to ask. But now we want to take we're taking the time this month and like this time after our initial preview performance of the show to make sure we are answering all the questions we sought out to, especially after the train wreck of watching Stranger Things as a fan, which was preceded
and I
by
guarantee you, if they
Game of
had
Thrones.
peer reviewed, they maybe would have had time to like fix some stuff.
Which is crazy to me to say, to really think there is no way that the ending of Stranger Things was peer reviewed, and that's crazy to say. You're telling me you didn't have anybody check your work. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. I was like,
they had writers in the room trying to correct them on their own world building, and they threw it out the window.
Yeah,
I don't know if you got to that part.
Yeah, I did. I know that clip is like really overused, I think, right now, but like the clip of like, so no demo dogs? That's the one that gets me. It's the writer in the room going, wait, but bats? I think he literally says, I don't know, guys. I think they'll be disappointed if there's nothing here. And the response is literally,
there's nothing?
It's like a pause, and then the writer goes, well, I think he was surprised. I was like, you're telling me the ultimate mind telekinetic man was surprised?
I can't. I'm gonna freak out. Yeah.
I also,
I do need to use the restroom, but I'll be back.
Okay, all good. We don't have to go there. I am, makes me so mad. In other news, wait, did Stefu just leave the, Stefu just closed that, the Video Ninja. That's okay. Have you played Expedition 33?
I have not the award-winning, most all-time like nominated game of the year.
That's right. Put some respect on her name. She was.
I have not played that, unfortunately.
10 out of 10.
But I do know its acclamations. Nearly 10 out of 10. I thought.
Well, okay, so when I say 10, unlike I think IGN, when I think 10 out of a 10, I'm thinking of a flawless experience. Like,
Sure.
There are very few games that I think are genuinely a flawless experience, but that just by the nature of creating things, right? Like, maybe that makes me a bitch of a judge, but like I've judged in the last 2 years at least like 7 or 8 singing competitions of different kinds, just through like a cappella, through this or that, and I can tell you that I remember And these judging sheets will have like anywhere between 10 to 20 categories, ranking 1 to 5 points, 1 to 10 points. And I can tell you for a fact, I have scored a single 10 in one single category at most in the last 2 or 3 years. I think just like by nature,
Yeah.
it just doesn't make sense to me especially at like most competitions at the collegiate level or even community or like slight professional level. Like we are not achieving 10s. You know what I mean? Like.
Sure. Yeah.
No, you're not the Michelangelo of singing. Like we're not there.
Yeah, we ain't doing that here. No slate on you. We're just not doing that.
Yeah,
here.
no slate. But and so that's why I think I don't want to overhype Expedition 33 because I also have a recency bias to playing it and to playing a quality game. I haven't played a game of that quality in a while, which I think affects my decision. But like when I finished the game, I was like, oh man, I think that's in my top 20, no, top 10. I was like, no, maybe my top 5 favorite games of all time. Top 10 for sure.
Damn.
Top 5 is like a hard,
Top
I really
10,
have to
okay.
think. But top 10 for sure. I really think like the gameplay was great. The visuals were great. The characters were great. The voice acting, A+. But the story.
It hasn't dethroned Journey for you yet?
It's hard. It's hard.
It's hard.
Because
it's hard,
Journey,
but
I think, also hit me in a pivotal time as a player, as a like
just as
musician.
a human.
Yeah, I was a child. I played that game, and then I was reborn as a composer, environmentalist, philanthropist. Like I was like, there's so many things I want to be now. I was just inspired, like truly inspired by that game, and the game is great. And this just reminds me, and this is like on a much bigger scale, like Journey is a 2 to 4 hour experience, right? Expedition 33
that's true.
is a 20 to 30 hour experience that is an RPG, which means that you have to put up with or enjoy turn-based combat. Even though it is very fluid turn-based combat, it's still,
Right.
It's not everyone's cup of tea. But like, I think it is so strong and compelling and more polished than something like, say, BioShock, in that I think the story and visuals are so compelling that they will pull a player, even one who does not enjoy turn-based combat. Because what has been most surprising to me about playing Expedition and talking about it is that all of my roommates who are very different players or not players, or like gamers, all found the story really compelling. And everyone I've spoken to who has played it is not a JRPG player, but all of them are just like, well, I need to know what happens to Mael and what happens to Gustav, and like the characters and the plot. And then the fact that the game is an indie game with a development team of 30 people just makes it blows the whole thing out of the water, like impossible. And then on top of that, the music is really, really groundbreakingly fabulous, and partially groundbreaking in like a America sucks kind of way, and just that like I think it's partially great just because we don't get to see that level of French music executed and polished to that extent. Wait, is Stephanie back? Okay, just making sure. So I think, honestly, if we just heard more French music in video games in general, we would find that it's very good. But in this particular case, it's also written really well. So like, it was just a really great game overall, and it will be fun to play again. But it's some of the twists in that game and some of the narrative tools that were done in that game have not really been done in any other game, or as far as I've only seen done in one other game. So like, I think everybody's first time playing it is definitely like a special circumstance. Kind of like playing BioShock for the first time and getting to the very end. That was like a pretty big twist. But I don't think BioShock mechanically was like nearly as polished as it could have been. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like it was carried by like great environment, great sound, great voice acting, great. But like I feel like the gameplay is still like what, an 8 out of 10? You know what I mean? 8.5
Yeah.
out of 10.
No, I see that.
Anyway, all that rant to say Expedition 33. Beautiful, gorgeous, never been done before. Okay, so while we're here, let me look at what info is left on Gizmo stuff. Left off on inventions. Assignment. What do they believe in the assignment and their hobbies? Okay. I feel like Stephanie should be back in a second. I'm gonna go grab some more soda.
No
And then
worries.
will
I could
do
just
this.
be yapping.
Yeah, go ahead. Feel free to yap. I'll be back in like literally 1 minute though.
Yeah, no worries. So for those who still watching, seeing what's going on in the background, I'm trying to figure out how the chassis of the BugBus, the front of the BugBus where you're driving, how that transforms and changes into the actual space. Because if we're thinking about frames of vehicles, the frames of any sort, something that's holding a gyrosphere, there's a part of it that the gyrosphere will obviously rotate around, but then there's a locked part that you had to have your controls into. So I'm trying to figure out what that looks like. So they'll obviously have like essentially your dashboard there, and what would a dashboard here look like, right? So I'm trying to figure out how that will look out geometrically. But I don't mind how this is looking out right now. Especially as a starting point, you have like your nose, you'll have your lights, and then you will have your change object layer. You'll have like your glass, your blue portion, able to freely spin inside this other portion, as Harrison was saying. So the outer layer, if we're thinking out of it like this, the outer layer, this portion, my left hand, will spin and turn so that it can move everywhere, but the inner glass will be able to spin as well here. And it's the same concept as what we have for the ship, right? The two spheres of the ship are spinning magnetically and freely to the frame of the ship, and it's held through magic, science. We haven't figured it out yet, but through some sort of sci-fi means, it's held in a free forms role there. So trying to figure that out, and also make it functional. That's all part of the work that we do here, trying to figure that out. Once I'm done here, making the frame here, I think the next best thing to talk about is how exactly we are going to make the connection between the two work, right? Obviously, the BugBus has to be a bus at some point. They can't just be those little cars running around. I love the idea of there being an inflatable portion, sort of very much of the 90s, 80s time, like the CDC inflatable areas, the tents that just pop up, or think accordion style. If you've ever been to San Francisco and they have like the double buses, any sort of area with a double bus, and they have that sort of flexible rubber material in between the buses that is able to push and pull. I was thinking that could happen, and they would attach and detach as soon as you lock in the chassis underneath, the tires underneath, and then the inflatable portion touches the other two, and with that inflatable portion, it pressurizes the lock. It has a suction hold, but it's able to be elastic in its form, so that way the BugBus can shake and move and push and without having it collide with each other. So I think that's going to be the next thing I draw up, but I want to figure out how this chassis works here, how this dashboard essentially works. Let me see if I can get this working here. Oh, no, I can't do that there.
It's very cool to see the software on screen.
I was just telling chat how I think after I figure this out, I think a fun part that I want to work on is how these buses are going to connect, how these Porsches are going to connect.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling them I like the idea that is similar to how our hallways work with kind of upholstery and softer materials.
Yeah.
Like if you've ever seen double buses, two buses, you know, connecting, or even the metro. I don't know if New York has it, but like, you know, like San Francisco, the double buses with the accordion-like mesh
Yeah.
between it.
Yeah.
Those flexible
You
meshes.
know what's funny?
So-
Just like while we're on the topic of this, and this is just the random. I know that you get to the random like posts that are like random fact that you didn't know, but it like deep dives that one particular fact like 30, 40
Yes.
years. And so I definitely have gone down a rabbit hole of the train, specifically the MTA and the Boston train, the latching devices. And some of those
Yes.
devices are, the patent on them is just so well designed that they've used the same. There is one specific patent that is like fail proof. It has never failed, will always be used, and still used to this day,
Love
which is so
that.
interesting. Which might be fun to like reference in that design, because it makes sense. Like it's on, especially in 2050. I highly doubt we're
If it
going
doesn't-
to,
it-
yeah,
yeah.
it ain't broke. Like they're gonna
If it ain't broke. Because I was thinking, I was like, yeah, we can have it. You know, they latch together and they come together, and then they have the flexible accordion-like mesh, the rubber thing that sort of that would attach to each one of them, and that's what sort of drew here with like the little ripples, so that it, you know, you can have it attached to both of them, it extends, and then you have a suction hold, so that way it pressurizes, so that way everyone can move from one place to the other without it, especially if we're going onto like dangerous
Yeah, which we do.
We're
terrain.
approaching normalcy.
So that way it has as I say, so it also has flexible material, so that way if the bus is moving and shaking about, and the two, so that we don't have the two pods essentially collide, so that it would create that sort of friction hold. So that's something that I've been thinking about. I'm like, okay, I like that portion.
Yeah, that's cool. Has to be durable in heat. Has to
2,000 feet.
using the fire planet, the ice planet, and the superstorm planet, the crystal cavern, the
1,000
gem
feet.
planet. And
True,
well,
yes,
I guess
yes.
We don't use it on planet X, so just those last ones.
100 feet.
Probably not ready by the time they actually get to planet X. 'Cause that's day one.
Destination reached.
Let's open my window, and then I'm gonna get back on some of this gizmo question stuff.
That worked. Why didn't you? Okay, I got that figured out.
Right back in.
Yeah, no worries. Can I lower you? Okay, I think I know where the issue is coming in. I think since it's not a perfect touch, it's not a perfect connection there, it's not gonna like when I'm trying to trim it. I'm trying to obviously take this portion out. It trimmed pretty nicely and nice enough for visual purposes here. How can I do that? I can do, oops, not that one. I can do, no. Okay. Now, can I lower you? So that will work. So that does work. I just need to get it. For everyone watching, now we're getting into the nitty gritty. All this modeling stuff is all these weird shapes and weird forms. You still got to be able to. It's going to be it's not your typical orthogonal connection. So being able to get those two to speak nicely to each other, it's always going to be an issue. But there's always a way around it. So that's what I'm just trying to figure out. What's going to be my angle around it. Just means I gotta play with it a bit. Trim. There we go. Okay. Not the cleanest cut, but now we have a dashboard in there. What are you? Oops, nope. Trim you. There we go. Cleaner look there, and now I wonder. Boom. Nice. And I'll show you guys what it would be like for a render portion. Once everyone gets back here, we'll show them what it would seem like once the render is done. So that you guys can see that. You can also see what would be a midway milestone. Nothing. It won't. To show you as a final product, it won't look like what Mia was doing, because Mia, it takes hours and days and hours to get it to that quality, to think of all the materials you'll need. But this one shows just to show you of like how maybe even light would hit it, and that's just a starting stone. And then eventually the idea is that I make the 3D models here and then send it over to Mia, potentially to continue in tandem, work together in that way. And once that goes, we just keep moving forward. Each asset after asset, So what I can do here, pretty easy. I'll extrude you. But I will trim based off of this. There we go, pretty easy. That's not bad. And then I can just Boolean union you together to the boom. So now there should be, didn't like that, but now it's a tighter fit. I almost wonder, based on my earlier sketch, how did I want that? I do like that portion. I like how it comes down. I like how it comes down like that. So one of my things that I'm worried about, it kind of looks like a mask. Kind of looks like Bane's mask here. What can I do to make it less like Bane's mask? I thought of dots there, for lights essentially, or fasteners, just little details, because whenever you're designing, for any future designers out there, it's all about the details. It's all about the details. If you can think of the details and think about it, that's what makes people believe in the design. Sure, anybody can design that, but then knowing the ins and outs of it and thinking about the ins and outs of it, that's what sets us apart. So, what can I do to make it less like Bane's mask? Thinking if it can curve down, maybe back. So because then the idea is that somebody is sitting in this spot here, or two people rather. Two people are sitting here and here, so that way they see outwards. I wonder. I can bring it a little lower. It should be easier to see as a viewport, so that you're not actually blocking line of sight. People can actually see what they're driving. That's always a good part. It's always good to be able to see where you're driving. So I'll take this midpoint here, take that there. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I can do here and here. I wanted a little softer. Let's do a little bit of an ease into it. Softer edge, so it's not so. Maybe the softer edge will give it less the mask look that I was worried about.
Something about the shape of it was very familiar to me, so I had to like go. I literally, this is what I typed into Google. I put "kids show with insects," and the picture that popped up was literally the thing I was thinking of. I was thinking of Miss Spider's Sunny Patch Friends.
Wait, hang on, kids show with insect. I need to see this.
Yeah, it's Miss Spider's Sunny Patch Friends. I don't know
Oh
why. Maybe
my!
it's just her head.
Whoa! Big! Whoa! I haven't seen these people in forever. Holy shit! They
Memory
aired
unlocked.
this. Core memory unlocked. Also, they aired that, and it, not to say anything.
Yeah.
We don't like to. We're not bashing on creators or anything like that.
No.
But I mean, this was greenlit for kids. I'm sorry, like this.
Was.
Oh, I gotta. This was greenlit for kids.
I'm freaking
Like,
out.
I can't. I it's nightmare fuel now looking at it.
That's kind of nightmare fuel. I'm not gonna lie.
So
it's
hey,
giving,
that was
like-
greenlit.
Ugh.
So one of the things that I'm trying to combat, and I was talking to Chad about it, I was like, okay,
Ugh.
I like how it looks like in the sketch, it's fine, but it's going to start looking like a face wearing a Bane mask. Especially with something that comes up like that. So I'm trying to find ways to combat around that.
Understood.
Trying to find just to see, and I think that's going to mean like softer edges, more organic turns. So I'm trying to combat that feeling, but hopefully
I didn't think
we
about
can-
it until you said it, though.
Think about what?
Yeah, but that's maybe I'm my own worst enemy. I think of all the ways that my designs could be taken poorly and try to miss that. So
I get that. Like, let me look
I don't
at
know if
this
that's
from every possible angle.
I don't know if that's healthy or not, but
What are we?
I'll talk to my
What are we
therapist
seeing
about
in
it.
the
To a
design?
degree.
I'm trying to see it as how else it could be taken. I'm seeing it. It can look like Bane's mask,
Oh. I mean,
right?
can you make it fully circular, that front? Like, I know we built
That's
that
what I was thinking.
panel, Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, if I soften the edges, and it'll look like less like a mask on a face, and it would be more just softer,
Yeah.
more
yeah.
organic.
And
So
I think honestly, once that is done, once you get the second sphere inset in each of these, like how it's the sphere. Yeah, I feel like once that element is like fully in there, I think it's still gonna like it already looks a bit better to me. Like I think just softening
Yeah.
it a little bit more, like especially the back circles, I think look really great. Especially just the
Yeah, I like
way that they are like asymmetrical but symmetrical. You know what I mean? Like there's good balance in those spheres. It's cool.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like
Fun.
my job.
Okay, let's take probably another 30 total today. Glad that this is This is also just a test run just to see if this software works, so that we can stream all of these screens at the same time.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And so we can definitely do more of this, especially while Stephanie and I have like character work to do or whatever. Like this is good,
Absolutely.
fun to watch while we chit chat. And then we've got a kitty cam, cat cam.
It's Kiki.
Hi Kiki. We need a gif of you, Kiki.
Oh no. Soon.
Soon. So pretty. Okay.
Her and Tomba are tearing through the house chasing after each other.
They gotta have their fun.
They sure do. Oh, okay. You want to go back to Gizmo?
Yeah, I was just believes in the assignment. That's what I was thinking about as I went to the restroom. Does Gizmo believe in the assignment?
And we've kind of touched on it a little bit in Space Potluck.
Yeah, I feel like he's indifferent about it, right? Like he doesn't really care. But it's not.
He doesn't. I think he takes it with a grain of salt. He's like
Yeah.
using it as a vessel to be able to do what he wants to do.
Yeah, he's like, but to be honest, I would have done this anyway. Like, I think that's kind of his mindset. He's like, but they were right, so like,
Yeah.
I can't wait. I like at some point I want to like make this aptitude test or like write out like what happened
Yeah.
during this. Like, I'm imagining it's some combination of the tuning exams meets like in Hunger Games when they present for the board, they show their skill and get a number. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
that
like
would be yeah.
some mix of that. Is literally they took a little exam and then went into this kind of like dystopian like like chamber hall, and they were like, all right, show us your talent. And Calypso was like, okay, like dun, 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 dun. It starts playing, makes up a
That's
song on the
crazy.
spot about them, like,
Just fires it up like a bard.
and then shoots an arrow. And boom.
All right. How about hobbies?
Hobbies. Legos. Smash Ultimate. Or Super Ultimate. Super Ultimate.
Super Bowl copyright.
Sorry.
Super ultimate.
I mean, I guess like games in general. I feel like Gizmo's a fan of sandbox games.
Yeah,
podcast.
Gizmo would have gone crazy if there's some Lincoln Logs.
Right. So he's got like
All right,
Kinects
friends.
and Legos.
I do have to head out for right now, so I appreciate
okay.
everyone popping up with the stream. But it's been fun. It's been fun.
Yes, thank you for coming on and doing a little bit of 3D work on stream.
Yes,
Heck yeah.
super excited to do it some more. Hopefully we can make a routine out of this. It'll be great.
Yeah. All right, let me put on the other screen. Which one is it? Is it this one? I'll bring us back to space. Especially while Stefu and I chit-chat about characters for just a couple more minutes.
But thanks, guys. I had to head out. But love you guys.
Bye,
Have a fun
Andrew.
stream.
Yay!
Bye.
Bye. Have a great
hanging.
day.
Okay, I'm gonna move my picture over here. I'm gonna come and join you over here, and I'll pull up the set list.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
How about some
Um,
physical attributes for Gizmo?
Okay. Give me a set list. Bada boom. Do I have a picture of the twins on here? No, I don't. That's okay. I'm gonna pull it up though. I'm gonna pull up a picture of the twinsies, just so that anybody watching can see who we're talking about right now.
Yeah, slay.
And physical attributes, like other than his like
What
fit,
stands out about Gizmo?
I feel like Gizmo probably wears glasses.
Another glasses wearer.
Yeah, and so I can't tell if this is correct. Maybe this is a trait for Bolt, but I feel like I'm trying to imagine like Gizmo, all this high-techy stuff, and Gizmo has like basic glasses with like some tape on them. I was like, I don't.
Oh yeah.
He's like, these are enough. These work well enough for me.
I'd love it if they were always in a different state of being broken in each episode.
Yeah,
Like at one point, it's like
taped.
the tape in the middle, and then the next time the frame is like cracked, and the next
Yeah.
time the lens is
I'm
gone.
totally here with that. Write that down. Write that down.
Yeah.
That's great. Where are the photos of the cast? Oh, here it is. Marketing, character stuff. Yeah, here's the twins. Yeah, this will work. Download. I will just add it as an image. I feel like this is every time I add an image to the like Twitch screens, it's always like at like size 300. I don't know why that is. Let's see. Yeah, no, literally. How big this is? All right, but boom, right here. Oh, I will move this up here so y'all can see what the twins look like. Like you can reference that while we chit chat about.
Yeah, I
Gizmo.
feel like he'd always be that kid you would see that would have like a burn or a scuff or a scrape,
Yeah, definitely. I
like
feel
band-aids.
like Gizmo is definitely like not like that he's like dirty, but he's like covered in grease.
Yeah.
like all the time. And I feel like Bolt is too sometimes, but like Gizmo is like unexplainable. Like there's no reason sometimes why Gizmo will walk in covered in like soot ash, like his hair's burned a little bit on one side, like like there's still a little flame like in the corner. You know what I mean? Like that checks.
Like it's giving like mini mad scientist.
Yeah.
I kind of love that. What about colors for Gizmo? We didn't talk
I
about
was
that.
thinking the purples originally.
Purple.
Yeah, but I feel like again with the costuming like design coming from like multiple colors and stuff like that, I think Gizmo to me feels like either some primary colors or like it's definitely like a fairly kiddie like fit and get up, right? Like he's in Converse, he's usually like in shorts or he's got his little backpack. But I do like purple for him, and I like some of the darker neon-y colors because I think Pixel and Gizmo definitely have like a neon edge to them, to their design, to their aesthetic.
Okay, sounds good. Flaw for Gizmo? His naivety?
Yeah, that's a good one. Definitely a little naive. Let me pull up the chat again. Sometimes causes. I feel like, and you already said this, but he doesn't sometimes thinks too quickly. Like sometimes jumps too
Debris incoming.
you know, will react.
Yeah, he like goes with a gut reaction
Yeah.
rather than thinking things through.
Yeah. And he is very smart, but, you know, sometimes could save himself some trouble by...
Collision imminent.
Yeah, that's where Pixel comes in.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to get into the how are they generally viewed by others? Or you want to move on to something else?
This is 43.
We could do just that much for everyone if you want to go do that. Just touch on that first bit.
Yeah, let's because I think let's continue with another person. Let's do a little bit more of another person. And
Slay.
But just up until that point, and then we can go back and start filling in those like intro.
Yeah, we'll just do like the little top sections.
Brace
Yeah.
for impact, explorers.
So do you want to hit Pixel?
Launching a collab.
Yeah, let's do Pixel.
Technophile.
Because I felt like Pixel feels like more than a programmer. if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like they're like that tech savvy person. Like you put any sort of technology in front of them and I feel like they can just like tap into it.
True. I wonder if that's like a good
I was like, is that too
attribute
broad?
though, or
Yeah.
because I'm trying to think. I feel like Pixel is not as appreciated by the Earth scientists as she should have been. You know what I mean? Like I know they obviously
Yeah.
she's smart, but like I still think because she's a kid and also like a little girl in STEM kid that I feel like the Earth scientists were a little like I like programmer because, and not that it has to be programmer. I'm still definitely open to like judging that. But like I like a role that feels like it recognizes her strengths, but not maybe all of her potential.
Right. It feels like they realized her affinity for it early on and then just slapped a label on her and moved on
Yeah.
without like exploring if it could have been anything else or if it could be, you know.
Yeah, I wonder even like IT. They gave her like
That's crazy.
they said she's IT.
They were like, she'll be fine if the, you know, Karen bugs, she'll be able to fix it. That's really all we need.
I feel like something like that seems right though. You know what I mean? And then for her to like be so much beyond that.
Uh-huh. Oh, and I had put statistics in because I was like, I feel like with Pixel doing all this formulating, they need a heavy background in some kind of math. And statistics felt right.
That's
Or like
true.
a statistician. Is that a word?
Statistician. Gonna move some stuff around real quick. Move you over there.
Oh, yeah. A statistician analyzes data using mathematical techniques to solve problems in fields.
That's just pretty good, but I do feel like that blurs into, well, not blurs, but like it feels kind of like something Willow's good at. I know the math thing is a little bit specific, more specific to Pixel.
Yeah,
But I wanna,
because Pixel's always calculating.
yeah, it makes me think like this like theorist, this Albert Einstein-esque character would be interesting. Also like a philosophy person would be really interesting to see in a crew. Statistics. Like maybe making programmer one of her two attributes and pairing that with something. Or so we have a tech attribute.
Oh, I thought you wanted to leave programmer as her assignment.
I do like that also.
then I
I was
can
just
change
thinking.
this.
Oh, I see. Programmer. Something about IT I like. I don't like the actual name IT.
I hate that, Harrison.
But I like the idea that they would put her on like tech support. She's like a what is it, Geek Squad? Her assignment is Geek Squad.
That's crazy. What if it's just mathematician then? Is that too general?
I just don't think. Well, one, I don't think mathematician is quite the right fit for Crew 100, right? Like within their through line.
Well, it's not. It's not to be their assignment.
her
It's
attribute.
yeah.
And then what would you combine?
It's
that
what
with?
makes them a good programmer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What could we pair that with?
Something tech related.
I'm interested. I worry that like mathematician isn't quite right for, but it is it does feel accurate. That's why I'm like
Yeah. That's kind of why I leaned more towards statistics because that felt more like ratio and chance and probability, and I feel like that's kind of where Pixel lives.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, I could that being said, so like something statistics comboed with something technology would be interesting. Like something like
yeah, because statistics is all about probability, sampling, like not so much the research part of it. It's more the organization of the data and then presenting it.
Yeah. I wonder if something like that combined with coding, if we could make some coding, something like coding.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? Can I, like, move
Yeah.
this? I want to sit back in my chair.
That's why I was like, if we can have something math and something tech, I feel like that's Pixel.
Okay, I'm just gonna hold my mic. Can you still hear me? I just want to
Hold
sit
that
back in
mic.
my chair, so like. um.
Choom, choom.
And we can keep going though, especially with our how much time we have left with today. I like the direction though, and I will think of some techie options. Did I have anything written down? Let me check my personal notes. I did not. So. I feel like in that intro scene of like how like the Atlas's leg came to be, Pixel woke up and immediately was like, "You have an 11% chance to make it through this."
That's crazy, bro.
Something like that. Immediately looking down, and be like, "Huh, that's not good."
Computer forensics investigator. That's cool.
Ooh,
That's about investigating crimes, though.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll leave those there for now. Circle back. What about
Could you imagine
Strength.
like a police officer? Something like that. It's funny to me.
I can't.
Sorry. Okay, go
Gizmo
ahead.
would eat that up. Pixel
Okay.
strengths. Highly intelligent.
Yeah. She's probably the smartest. Point blank. I think she is the smartest.
Yeah.
Atlas and Willow can keep up, but Pixel is like savant level intelligence. I think she's crazy smart. And socially, she's not bad. She's just blunt.
Yeah.
But she's honestly
Yeah,
pretty
I'd
good
say
with communicating.
I would list it as a flaw. Can come across apathetic.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
blunt.
I think that's just from her sheer intelligence. Like, she's like, why waste time? I feel like a flaw is like, honestly like she's almost too unbothered by to some extent, you know what I mean? Like she knows how some of this is gonna play out. She knows the likelihood of success. I think like she's honestly more surprised when things go right for them, considering the chances. You know, like a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of things don't go right for our crew, but also realistically, like the fact that we aren't obliterated by the supernova, we aren't, you know, like the fact that we are surviving all of these situations is, I think, a lot of like luck and also a lot of skill, but like the probability of success has got to be pretty low on a lot of this, and I think Pixel must be aware of this, so I think she's constantly surprised by that.
What would you say for a fear?
I don't know. Is hers like being wrong? Does she care? Or like a deep-rooted fear?
I feel like Pixel would look forward to being proven wrong because I feel like Pixel is usually
it's
always so
interesting.
right that it interests them to be wrong in a situation.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? Our younger ones are tough. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not afraid of anything, bro. How about actually a good one for Pixel? I feel like is the way they're treated because of their age. You know what I mean? And we touch on it a little bit between Pixel and Astra, like not
Yeah.
being taken seriously or being
Yeah.
treated like a child.
Yeah, it's true. Especially for someone as intelligent and as aware of her
Yeah.
intelligence as Pixel. Oh, I can't wait for Pixel to meet another like genius child, like another
I
like,
know.
explorer.
I'm
Like
screaming.
Yee! That'd be so cute.
Pixel's colors.
Probably it's whatever it ends up being needs to be pretty similar to Gizmo, but like opposite in like a pink version. Like if it's like dark with neon colors or something, it needs to just be purples instead. Or I definitely want some twin factor going on here, but not too much.
But this we can get rid of. Believes in the assignment. This is another one where I feel like it's indifferent.
Yeah. She
Because
doesn't
Pixel's like,
care.
I'm also very good at what I do.
Yeah.
Like, I was never going to be anything but this.
Yeah, because I guess I think she is aware that she is like the best suited for this. I think she's somewhat aware that like similar to Atlas, she's like, oh, I have an assignment. Somebody put thought into this assignment and gave it to me. That makes me think about things.
Right.
But like Atlas also, I think the two of them are both like, but they're right. I probably am best suited for this in the room. So yeah, why not?
She does have the line where she says, I don't know that I necessarily believe in the assignments.
Yeah, but I think that's okay, fair. That's the assignments as a whole.
Yeah. I would say, yeah, indifferent, but it like questions them, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I was thinking
because I feel like Pixel would want to be like, how did we determine these assignments? Pixel would be like, what's the formula we used to decide
I was
this?
just thinking that I feel like Atlas probably thinks about that too. Before you asked that, I was really only thinking about how Pixel feels about her assignment. But that's like super true. I think both of them, to some extent, are like, and I think there's also got to be a mentality of, well, this is the assignment given. That means a lot of something, like maybe from Orion and a few other kids like that.
Yeah, I agree. How about hobbies?
Computer games. But also like making, I guess, possibly making computer games, right? Or like just she's a programmer.
Yeah.
Like coding.
So
I guess coding might be a hobby. Yeah.
Coding. Coding. Snacking.
Her podcast. Her talk show.
Yeah, podcast. Slay. Any particular physical attributes for Pixel?
Just her little iPad, right? A little tech iPad.
Oh yeah.
I'm missing something. There was definitely something that we discussed. I think maybe just in costume stuff. Gave her a beanie, but she needs a I feel like for sure needs a gizmo tech upgrade. It could be the iPad itself, since it's like kind of like a crazy like hacking device. Like, I imagine her little iPad can kind of like hook up to almost anything, or it can try to hook up to almost anything, like just based on how they designed it. Oh, I forgot. Gizmo's got his backpack.
Headphones? Question mark.
Yeah, she does, right? Did
yeah, she'd want like noise canceling headphones. I feel like.
I think so, because she'll plug it into her like her device, her iPad.
Especially when things get too loud and Pixel wants that peace and quiet. Just pop those headphones on.
Oh right, you're so right, because she is a big peace and quiet, and Gizmo won't shut up.
Yeah,
that's true.
I wonder if Gizmo made them as a gift.
That's cute. That or she requested it.
Okay. You need to wrap up, or you want to do another one?
Wait. No, I probably should wrap up just because I have to teach tonight.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
But I will, after we wrap up, we can hop into Discord real quick just to plan the next thingy. Let me see. Honestly, this was fun. It was good to really just test the, first of all, Video Ninja's great. Really easy to use now that I'm figuring it out, although I feel like I panic for 10 minutes before stream trying to set everything up. But, I like the fact that we all now have our cameras free. Like, that's fun. Move them around. Game night's coming, y'all. Game night's gonna be fun.
Woo.
Okay, yeah, and we're definitely over 2 hours for today. This has been great. We need to hit more character stuff next week. I'm gonna see who else we can get on board. We might have some BTS content. So let's go ahead and do a good night, Katie. Let's do
Good night.
Let's just do our end of stream, traditions, and then we'll call it for today. And we'll be back next week with some more fun stuff. Maybe I'll get some music going. But let me move. Where is this? Oh, the twins. Get rid of the twins for a second. Yeah, I mean, I went a rant earlier while you were in the bathroom. Me and Andrew. Oh, kitty cam. So cute. I went on a rant about Expedition 33.
Oh yeah.
I was saying it was great. Andrew and I have played video games for a long time, like since freshman year of high school. We all kind of gamed together. And so he knows that I was like, it might be in my top 5. He was like, oh, high praise. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's really high praise. Is the music playing? Oh, yeah, there we go. It was just paused. I was like, hello. I also finished Blueprints, which was really fun. I think you would really enjoy Blueprints.
Ooh.
You'll probably get... It's one of those games where you're like... When the game tells me that having a notepad and pencil will be handy, that's how I know. I'm like, oh, we're getting into it today. Me and my notepad, like, rocking into... Like, I would just walk into a room and it just says... blue sticky notes are lies. Red sticky notes are the truth. Suddenly I'm looking everywhere for blue
You're like,
and red
oh,
sticky notes. I'm
gosh.
like, writing, like, I do love those kind of puzzler games where, like, you have to jot stuff down, and especially if it actually makes sense and actually helps. I found Blueprints really satisfying to play. And especially because there's no game, I don't know how much you know about Blueprints, like the mechanic of the game. But I have not played anything that kind of plays like that, where you are playing as a young boy inheriting a home from a recently passed family member, a mysterious home that all they have to say is like, just know every time you come back, the house will always feel new. It'll always feel fresh or something like that. And basically, you get like the will says you have this house, it has 45 rooms in it. You get to keep the house and whatever's in the rooms if and when you find the 46th room. And the idea, they said, like, you have to find this room. Also, you can't stay the night here, so you have a limited number of doors that you can open. And every time you go into the house, which is like just a fresh run, at the very end of the day, you run out of steps or whatever, you restart, the entire house resets. But it feels like I'm playing Betrayal. Like, every time I open a door, I choose from 3 possible rooms that I could go to, and that door leads to multiple doors or not. And then I just keep, and I'm trying to get across this house and through 45 rooms to find the 46th room. But I'm always ending up with dead ends, or like, as I play, I'm like, oh, you know what? Pulling the library would be good if I had the pool already. So let me get the pool next time, and then and so like, it was just really, I beat the game on like 50 or 60 runs, I think is what it said. It was like day 50 or day 60.
Wow.
But it was super fun, and there's still more stuff to do, surprisingly. Like, I'm like, oh, now I want to go explore. There's a lot of secrets in this house. And it's like a pretty interesting story. But it was super cute, super fun. It's on the Games Pass. It's like an indie game.
Love that.
That was like a surprise, like a gem find. Very interesting game. It reminded me of like a board game, which was just like extra fun. and I've been watching a lot of Drag Race. So, living for the new season. We live for Mikey. This is a Mikey Stan account.
It sure is.
Let's get it right.
We love Mikey. We love Mikey.
Yeah, we do.
Mikey Meeks. The meek shall inherit the earth.
Right, and she's finally getting her flowers after that troublesome talent show.
Oh, I'm not caught up at all. The last episode I watched was when we were together, because I don't have a way to watch it.
I will send you the like links
Send it
that
to
we're
me.
using to watch it online.
Send it to me. Send it to me.
My Fire Stick died, so now we have to order.
Oh,
a new one. So
no.
now we're using like movies.abc123.net. You know what I
That
mean?
is cool.
So,
That's crazy.
yeah, play or watch anything. How's your Danganronpa been? I've been catching glimpses, and I've been trying to catch up. But like every time I go to catch up, it'll be like I'm in the shower, and I'm like, damn, I'm like 20 minutes into this 2-hour stream that I missed. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, damn. So
Yeah, lol. We're in the middle of the first trial right now,
Oh.
and everything is pointing like it's supposed to be one person, but I just don't buy it. I'm like, there's other evidence that we haven't even talked about yet that I'm like, there's no way it could be this person. So
I'm excited to. When are you streaming again? You streamed yesterday.
Thursday.
Okay, Thursday. I can't wait to see like
Thursday.
as the twists start dropping. I'm so excited to talk.
I said,
and then we can talk about like
Us-
how some of this pertains to Adrift. Well, not pertains, but like some of the stuff that inspired me. Like I cannot
Yeah.
wait to talk about it. There's some good stuff in that game.
so
It's just
excited.
wacky, wild game. Anyway, any watcher
Yes,
play
like-
anything else? Made anything?
The roomies chipped in and got me the whatever the PlayStation thing is called that you get where you can play like the games online and stuff.
Yes, the games pass.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
they got it for me for my B-Day. So
Oh, yay! Happy belated birthday.
Thanks. We've just been looking through the catalog at all the free games that I can now play, and we've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate too.
Wait, like Baldur's Gate 2? Like
Oh,
also or
as
2?
well.
As
I am playing
okay.
a lot of Baldur's Gate as well.
Okay, I was like, wait, number 2 or 3 also?
3.
Okay,
Debris
I want to play.
incoming.
Oh no, right, we did talk about this a little bit. The point of no returns. I want to
Mhm.
play that again, and I played it solo player. It looks like it would be super fun to play like multiplayer, so I want to do that.
It is.
And I know Ryan.
I'm playing like 2
bought
separate
it.
ones. Playing one just me, and then I'm playing one with them because they've already played up to a certain point. So we started a new one with them, and we're doing the things that they've already done together, and trying to do the things I've also already done. It's hard to explain.
No, I
But
get- I
there's
know what
2
you
different
mean.
campaigns going here.
Yeah, and you have your solo campaign. Which one are you further in?
Yep. I'd say at this point about the same.
Okay.
But I was playing by myself last night, and I got to a point where you would like go into a new area, and it stopped me, and it was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "No, I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Go back, go back."
No, I'm not sure. You're so right.
I'm not
Why
sure
would
at
I?
all. I have immense anxiety. No, please take me out of here.
Brace for impact, explorers.
But it's been
We're
super fun.
reaching a collapse.
That's super fun. Ryan never like played it. I think Ryan started it, but never got super into it, and then learned that it could be multiplayer. So I wanna try and see if we can play it. That would be
Yeah,
fun.
as a group, super fun.
Yeah, I didn't. It's just I've never thought you would be able to play a game quite like that multiplayer. So.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
So.
And if you have the PlayStation Pass, I think we can all play together.
We're
Oh, it's
approaching
on?
normalcy.
Baldur's Gate 3 is on the pass.
No, but to be able to play like
okay, got it.
cross-platform, you have to have the pass.
I don't know if I have to see. I don't know if I have it or if I just played it because Ryan has it. And
maybe.
Ryan's like primary on my console. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know if we can play it at the
The
same
one thing I
time.
hate is that you can only ever have 4 people in your party, and that drives me crazy.
That's an RPG thing, though.
I'm like, I want more, because when you're
Yeah.
playing by yourself, like, you have to choose which characters you want to take with you, and it's like, I hate that. I want them all.
1,000 feet.
That's funny. All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this
100
up.
feet.
We will be back again next week. We're definitely gonna roll out some more
Destination
streams weekly, but I think we're just waiting to finish updating all of our Twitch stuff. We have some new, we have
Yeah.
just a lot of new stuff honestly coming, but it's like all in development at the same time. So, but you're gonna see some cool visuals. I'm super excited to see them. Our
hell yeah.
marketing guru Alyssa is cooking, and I've seen just glimpses, and I'm very excited. But we'll be back next week.
Alyssa.
So, and what I really want to do also is do some gaming. I know this is a musical,
Mhm.
like, but we're also a bunch of nerds. And so this is like my channel hosts the Adrift stuff. Like, I want to do some gaming, right? Like, I'm trying to think, like, if we game on here, is that like gonna disrupt our musical lovers?
Nah.
So we'll see. Anyway, that's all I've got. So we're gonna go ahead and end stream. Stick around if you want to hear the overture. She's pretty. The Abyss overture will play at the end credits. But we will see y'all next week. All right, bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.